Hello, I'm John from the Haunt Informer.
And I'm Glenn from Fall Ritual.
This is episode 38 of Fall Informer, and today we have a special guest, Josh Balz from the Strange Unusual.
Ooh,
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited. This
Yes.
is nice.
Yes.
It's weird because it's like everyone it's always about, I've been doing so much music. It's nice to go back to my roots, which is, the haunt, the spooky, the dark, the macabre. So I'm excited for you guys to have me, and I'm very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Speaking of your roots, let's jump into the first question.
Right
So
into
the
it.
spring,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
right into it.
No
Strange
personal, we're rolling right into questions. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
right into it. Going back to the roots. Your shop is Strange and Unusual. It's an oddity parlor, as you call it. When did you start collecting it, and when did you decide to open up a shop?
I started collecting probably I'd say in the I can't say the mid 2000s. When does that even exist? When is that? I'd say probably around 2009-ish. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad always listened to Ozzy and um Zeppelin, and it was always skulls. It was always, Pink Floyd. It was always like skulls and weird and like I said, the macabre and things like that. So I started loving that stuff when I was a child, but I started collecting when I probably 2010, 2009-ish. So
Okay.
I was a teenager, which is really, really, really fun.
Nice. Nice. So, my first question for you is about haunt attractions. Out of all the years you've been to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, which one has been your favorite?
Um, you know what? I haven't gone as much as I would like to. Uh,
Okay.
I really wanted to do what was not last year,
Last year was 31.
31. So I obviously I support everything he does, which is I would love to have gone. I didn't go. Um, but I have a weird I love like neon 80s like
Yes.
slasher kind of stuff. So I really appreciated the Stranger Things vibe one.
Yes.
That 2 years ago, or was that 3 years
That
ago?
was 29 and 28.
And then I mean, The Purge, I think is probably
Yeah.
my favorite. Yeah, I think that would probably take the one, just because when you see people screaming and running down the street, there's nothing more terrifying than utter chaos. So I think that was probably my favorite, just because of like the visuals of it. But again, I've only gone to three or four of them, but
Okay.
it's because we have a flight from here. It's like
Yeah.
$100 to go down
Oh,
there. Every year I go, I'm gonna go. But you know whose busy season is that season? This asshole. It sucks. But yeah, I think the Purge one was probably my favorite. And if I was to go, I bet you it would have been 31 if I went to that one.
they went all out with the spooky stuff for the year.
Oh, bastards.
All right, go ahead, Glenn.
Keeping in theme with the horror stuff, you have you have several, I guess, what's the word, like businesses, I guess. One of them being this thing called Horror Hub
Mhm.
Marketplace. Can you talk a little about that and how you got started on that?
Yeah, I mean, Horror Hub actually came from a friend. My friend owns Blackcraft Clothing. His name is Bobby Shabinsky, and he linked me with one of his hometown friends from Pittsburgh. We all went to dinner one day, and he's like, "Listen, I was gonna do this thing with his name is Nathan. He's like, but I think you guys just make sense doing it together." So me and Nathan teamed up and we started this thing called Horror Hub, which I love because we wanted to do. There's nowhere that you can be a one-stop shop for horror. You got your Spirit Halloween, your Trick or Treat Studios, your Etsy's, your all of those are so like singular and specialty and things like that, which people do appreciate. But we wanted to bring that whole entity of a one-stop shop where we're still. I mean, we're actually rebranding the entire thing this year, and coming this fall, it's going to be a whole new thing. We actually like right now our site is in kind of slow mode because we're rebuilding everything. But the idea is we wanted to be that one-stop shop for horror, whether you're a haunt enthusiast or a haunt in general, or just a person that just likes the macabre, the weird. Like we want to have fog machines, costumes, masks, collectibles, but all things horror and in that genre, or metal, so stuff like that, like, you know, diving into your Slayers, your Ghosts, your stuff like that, and Misfits. And we wanted all that world to be one-stop shop, which doesn't exist. And we have been, the last 2 years have been trying to perfect, and it's been nothing but a pain in the ass, but it's getting there.
Nice. All
So
right.
that's pretty awesome though,
Yeah.
that it is like a one-stop shop of like, because like you said, it's not. So that'd
Yeah.
be cool to like go on one website, you can buy like a cool mask, and then you can buy like a prop or something, you know, like
Yeah,
that.
it's supposed to be for like the home haunter, the actual haunter, and for the consumer as well, and also a place for people to be able to sell things. Where it's like, if you have an Etsy shop and you're just making masks, maybe you're only seeing a couple people seeing your product. But if we have a marketplace where thousands of people are viewing it every day, we want them to see your product and things like that. And another thing is, like, we take a smaller percentage than any other website, than Etsy, eBay, all of those things, just because we're there for this, we're there for the small business, because I and myself own small businesses, so it's very fun.
So that is pretty awesome. That is an actual marketplace. It's not just like a website where
Yeah.
you can just put it into a basket. It is actually, you can buy it from
Yeah, and so
different people.
probably coming up in the end of, I think we're relaunching Horror Hub 2.0 in probably June or July.
Okay.
So definitely, if you guys are listening to this, whoever your listeners, look
Yes.
forward to that. It's horrorhubmarketplace.com. So it's going to be all brand shiny and spanking new this year.
Look forward to it, guys. Get ready for the spooky season with halfway to Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Now, talking about another one of your businesses, the Parlor Root Beer Company, I wanted to know, how do you become part of that, and how popular is your Parlor Root Beer float at Strange Brew?
Honestly, Parlor was kind of it was just something that we kind of were just like, hey, my business partner John Phillips, he actually came to me and he said, hey, I'm thinking about opening this root beer, this specialty soda shop. He wanted to do a retail shop, and I, come from doing retail and living in that world, he thought I was the perfect guy to go to. And I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I fucking love root beer. I love soda. I love sweets. I love things like that. So um the idea was just kind of, and then it was a pandemic, so we couldn't really do retail. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we look into actually doing a root beer brand? And we kicked it around for a bit, like, no way we can figure this out. And 8 months later, here we are, knowledgeable, fucking full product and full taste test and the actual product in our hands.
Yes.
And it was so unbelievable that I never thought I would be like, I'm in the beverage industry, and I am, and I fucking love it. It's so intense and it's so cutthroat. Like, you go into you're trying to get into grocery stores, and you're trying to get this, you're trying to beat prices, but we're a craft, so our prices suck. And it's like, because we're like local, we brewed locally.
Okay.
But it was like a shock to me. It's like, we announced this root beer, we made $100,000 in the first month of existing, and it was so unbelievable and so impressive. And we sold hundreds of thousands of bottles of root beer to now, and it's amazing, because when you're passionate about things, people understand that, and they pick up on it. So it's unfortunately, I didn't put any of that money in my pocket. It went right back into product. So please keep buying Parlor Root Beer. But it's the root beer flow is smashes at Strange. People love it. I mean, it's the middle of winter right now, so it's slowed down, but people are still. I'm petitioning my partners to do a root beer float root beer. So it just tastes like a root beer float.
So it's like a cream soda.
Yeah, which we have butterscotch root beer.
Yes, and it's wonderful.
It tastes like that, but there's something different about a vanilla bean and a root beer that just is fucking.
Yes.
So root beer, you know?
Yeah.
You need to branch out, because I did look it up. I'm like, oh, where can I get this Parlor Root Beer? And like the closest place is like 40 miles.
Where are you from?
Me. I live in Royersford.
All right, so we're actually, when no one knows yet, but we're actually introducing into a lot more grocery stores this year. It's our big year of like doing grocery stores. We focused last year on e-commerce, so you can get it at drinkparlor.com, but Now we're trying to go after grocery stores to get it nationwide in your grocery store, right in your face. You can grab it off the thing. So hopefully this year we're a whole lot more locations.
Because
Okay.
that butterscotch root beer sounds like I love root beer.
I had to take it out of my
Butterscotch.
house. I took it out of my house because I drank too much of it. I was like, I'm getting fat. I gotta stop drinking this. I had cases and I was just like, take it, put it back down the warehouse. I don't want it anywhere near me.
And you do like a pumpkin one too, right?
We did a limited batch of pumpkin. The only place it exists right now is the Strange and Unusual. We took it offline. We did that. So what I did is like I purchased from my own company the
Okay.
last of it. So it's the only place you can get it is the Strange and Unusual. That's it. The only reason I did it because I thought it was really funny to be able to like, hey, the only place you can get this is a very certain place. And if you can't get there, tough shit. And that's hilarious. We'll probably bring it back next, back to e-commerce and into stores, other stores, probably around fall. But I like being like, I think Strange deserves its own. Sometimes its own little world. So
Yeah.
I tend to favorite my own things, which is weird.
Oh man, that's funny. Did it taste like pumpkin spice? I never got to try it.
So here's the thing: is when we tested it, it was so I'm not a pumpkin spice fan.
Okay.
I'm a pumpkin pie fan. I
Uh,
fucking love pumpkin pie. So we went more. I like subtle pumpkin. So it's
okay.
very subtle pumpkin root beer. Some people are like, they want it to be way more pumpkiny, so I think next year we might do a pumpkin spice one because we just did a pumpkin one this
Yeah.
year. To introduce like we didn't have nutmeg in it. It was just
Okay.
straight pumpkin. So people were a little they're like, it just tastes like root beer with like a hint of pumpkin. I said, yes, that's that's what I did. That's what I liked. I was like, the issue is the product that I put out is what I like.
Okay.
So I mean, that's when you're passionate about your product. Sometimes it doesn't please everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have a 2.0 to please the pumpkin aficionados for next year.
Who does the artwork? Because that artwork on the bottles and the pumpkin one is awesome artwork.
So he's one of the partners in the company. His name is Matt Giordano. He's just when we knew what we wanted, and I was just like, hey, I want pinups, I want hot rod, I want like music, I want this. I was like the personification of if I was to drink a root beer, that this is what I want it to look like. I'm fully tattooed from my fucking head down to my toes. And I said, this is my world. I fucking love hot rods. I have cars I love. And I was like, this is the world. And I told him that I did shitty sketches like stick figures, and he brought that to life and it's the best branding out of most of my businesses. So I'm very excited that he really knocked it out of the park.
Definitely. All right. So another question I have for you, this actually ties into your hat. That's a little tease for you.
Nice.
Since I talked to you last year with the in-store interview I did with you, did you actually acquire a conjoined twin skeleton?
Ugh, this hurts.
Sorry.
Because I've had fake ones.
Oh no.
And I've had the option to get a real one.
Mhm.
And every time it comes up, they're so expensive.
Oh really?
And it's one of those things that like if I bought it, I would never sell it. So
Okay.
it's one of those things where do you make this giant purchase for it to sit and people to look at it, which I wouldn't mind, but I'd rather put the money in inventory of people that would so it sucks. I want one. If anybody's listening that has one and will get rid of it cheap or trade me, I have some cool stuff.
Yes.
I would really love one because it is like the backbone of our business, and I don't have one. Like an asshole.
Oh man.
Other than that, what is your current like prize piece you have in the store?
In the store right now, I think my favorite piece, I think because it's new, is I have a shoulder mount giraffe, and I think he's really cool. I think I like looking at him. It's so crazy to think that that's a real animal. I saw a meme the other day. It said, if someone was like, if someone came up to you and said, there's a horse with a horn on its head, or this animal with a fucking 10-foot neck, which one do you think is going to be real? You would never pick the giraffe. So unrealistic. And that's the animal that's alive. And a unicorn doesn't exist. Well,
Yes.
maybe it does. We don't know that. But I would say right now the giraffe. It makes me excited every time I see it. I'm gonna take it home at some point. I'm just gonna steal it myself.
Nice. So last year in 2022, I know you're very busy during the spooky season, but how many attractions did you get to go to?
Like none.
Oh no.
It hurts. All right, it hurts.
Oh,
Every year I do Reaper's Revenge every year. That's like
yes.
always my go-to. They're friends of mine. I think they're one of the best haunts in around, which I really love.
Yes.
But yeah, I've had such a busy. Last year was probably one of my busiest years. And I think I only went to two.
Two. Man.
Reaper's Revenge and Knobles.
Oh, Canolos.
That's it. And it sucks because it's like I wish I shot myself in the foot by making this my world
Yeah.
during that time, but then I can't appreciate the things that I love during those times, which is going to. I would love to do a haunt tour, even a Pennsylvania haunt tour. Like
Yes.
I would really love to do. I think there's Pennsylvania has like one of the most saturated haunted attractions
Yes.
in the nation, which is awesome, and I love that. I love Pennsylvania. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, two. Thanks for rubbing it in. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Well, leading to my question, do you have like a top three? Are there like a top three haunts that you would love to actually get to, like across the nation?
I love Netherworld. I've been there a few times in the past when I used to tour. That was one of my favorite ones to ever go to. I've never
Yeah.
been to Horror Nights in LA. I've
Okay.
only been in Orlando, so I don't know if it's different, but I would like to try both out, and I would love for Rob Zombie to bring his haunt back.
Oh,
to
yes.
so that would be my three if I were to do that. Um there's so many.
Yeah,
But
they
I
are.
think those are like the big ones that are always like low hanging fruit, I'll say, are awesome. I mean, I love like, our Pennsylvania ones, like around Philly, the penitentiary, and all those other ones. I support those obviously, but I think if I was to like, I want to try things new. The Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes. I've heard wonderful things
I've
out of that.
never done that. I would love to do that. So yeah, the Rob Zombie. I wish you'd bring that back to Knott's Berry Farm, and to go back to Netherworld because I haven't been there in like 6 or 7 years.
Oh, wow. I'd love to go there. I've never been to Netherworld.
It's worth it. It's worth the drive. It's one of the best haunts I've ever seen. They do such a good job. One of the makers actually made me. I used to have a hydraulic stand on stage that moved and up and down, all that stuff.
Nice.
And one of the prop makers at Netherworld, he actually works at Universal Studios now for Horror Nights.
Okay.
Made that stand for me, and
Nice.
just a very talented team down there.
Definitely. Yeah, I've seen from videos looking at over the years, the Hollywood event's very different than
Yeah.
Orlando. Very different. They have their own creative director named John Murdy. He actually has a Twitter account and posts all the time, like hints.
Really?
Yeah. There's like a whole community around it. It's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the interview that you did with John in store, you showed a shirt that said "Save the Bats" on it, and proceeds went to the Bat Sanctuary. Is that still a thing? You still
Yeah,
do the
so
Bat Sanctuary?
we still do it. I think we actually we sold out pretty quick, which is amazing.
Yes.
I think we just got another shipment in recently to do that. I think it's crazy because like, we used to sell bats and things, and we try to be as ethically sourced when we do be able to support that. And it's come a thing where the trade has gotten a little uneasy. So we wanted to do our due diligence of, giving back to those sanctuaries that have given us the opportunity to be able to take their I don't want to say product, that's kind of rude, take their support them by, because what we do is like we buy from those sanctuaries and then we dry them, put them in frames and sell them, but we wanted to be able to not some people don't like dead things in their house, but they want to support the bats. You know what I mean? They want to support that community. They want to support that lifestyle because bats are fucking cute.
Like a local bat sanctuary, or where is it?
It's always, so what we do is we do Google searches. We look for we do the Erin, that my partner there, she does all that stuff. But we tend to look up 10. And then what we do is we call them until until one answers. Exactly what we do, because we don't want to like have any kind of like choosing of what it is. So we'll just whoever answers first, and then we go down to a next block, and then whoever answers first whenever we do a thing. So it's really fun.
Cool.
We're weirdos.
You've done a lot of things over your career, lots of different things. And over the years, you've actually been able to interview a lot of people, which I think is really awesome. And you've been able to interview people that are not only musicians, but also actors. And I wanted to know, what are some of your favorite interviews you've been able to conduct over the years? Because I know there's been a ton.
It's weird because like I just got into this whole world of, I left the music industry and I thought I would just do entrepreneurial things, but I got back into this world.
Yes.
To be, out of the blue, again, a pandemic thing. Me, Bobby from Blackcraft, and Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit started this random page, and we just wanted to chat and hang out. And then it blossomed to this thing where we started doing interviews, and then we got bought by we got partnered with Danny Weaver Presents. Yes. So they wanted us to do interviews, and then I've done a show on Twitch, which was actually hosted by Doug Bradley. Yes. For a while we did that. And I would say probably, so my favorite, Doug is number one. Okay. By far, he's the most intelligent human being, and he's such a good person. He's so nice. And he's unapologetically himself. And I love that. Like, I remember we went to dinner once and he's like, you know which word he hates? And he'll tell you which word he hates. And it's the word literally. And if you say literally around him, he goes, literally what? Is it literal? And I'm like, oh, it's not literal. And he said, then don't use literally. He's like, the English language. He's like, you Americans use literal so much. And I was like, that's fair. But yeah, I think that one's, he just stands out to me so much because it's even incredible that I hope he views me as a friend. I think that's amazing. And we've done some cool stuff together, but he's probably number one. Again, another I would hope to call friend is Jonathan Davis is one of the most fascinating human beings in the world, from being a mortuary human being to going to being the biggest band in the fucking world. Yes. He had the biggest collection of serial killer memorabilia for a while, so that was like an interesting thing to talk to him about and things. So he's just so interesting, and it's nice to talk to interesting people because if you listen, it just makes you so happy to see what they've gone through, the life that they've chosen, and just to be a fly on the wall and be around those people is incredible.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
What is your best advice for future small business owners that want to start their own spooky shop? What would you say to do that?
Don't fucking be my competition. No, I always tell people, you know what? It's the only way you can succeed is by trying.
Okay.
And that's it. It's such a beautiful world, and there's so many forums. There's so many people that are there to help you out, to be behind you, to do things that will help our community, because that's the thing is, like, when the community grows, it flourishes. And I think as a business owner, it took me a really long time to be successful. And it's a lot of hard work. I work 16 to 18 hour days every single day. So unless you have it's a job. Everyone thinks they're like, oh, I own a business now, I don't have to work.
Yeah.
You're so incorrect that it hurts. Because not only do you have to work, but now you have to be your maintenance guy, your accountant. You have to be your
marketing.
Your marketing. You have to have your hands on every aspect of what it is. Yes, you have more pride and more passion, but if you think you want to start a business to not work, you're pleasantly mistaken, because I do nothing but work. I love it. So it doesn't like that's what kind of personality I have is just I love working. It makes me happy. I love tinkering. I love literally today I drove a couple hours to go pick up casket. I just bought 10 caskets, tossed them in my box truck and drove back. And like obviously I can hire somebody to do that, I'm sure, you know,
Yeah.
but like there's nothing wrong with, you know, getting your hands dirty. And I think starting your business, if you're willing to work and get your hands dirty, there's nothing really else. It's if you fail at something, you're going to learn, and if you succeed, it's inevitable that you're working hard. So it's definitely a full circle thing. It's really tough, but if you want to be a small business and an owner like that, like it is very difficult, and it's a hard world to succeed in, especially if you're not in a big city. Like I started Strange Unusual in Kingston, Pennsylvania. Everyone thought I was fucking crazy. But I had support from people that were, fans and things like that, that really made the brand what it was. I had an unfair advantage. And I've seen people try to open stores in rural areas that don't have much of a thing, and they fail, unfortunately. So it's tough if you're not in a New York City or a Nashville or an LA to be able to succeed. But then what comes with that is your rent is $30,000 a month.
Oh yeah.
To find inventory, you have to drive fucking 4 hours, 5 hours because everything's oversaturated and overpriced in those cities.
Yeah.
So it definitely has a give and take. But yeah, I think if you're going to open your own shop, you just be willing to work hard and be passionate about what you do, and success will do nothing but follow. Just be patient.
Have you ever gone to Salem and like taken your product up to Salem?
Yeah, we're actually talking about opening a Strange Unusual in Salem.
I can edit that out.
You don't have to edit that out. I thought that was
Okay.
fun. But yeah, I've been up there a bunch. We've done the night fair with the Murray brothers, where they used to film. They filmed Hocus Pocus, where Thackeray Binks
Okay.
lived. They do a night fair there, and it's the most beautifully crafted craft fair I've ever seen in my life. If anybody's in that surrounding area and they had the chance to go there, they're if I was to be, everyone's like, oh, who do you idolize? Like a celebrity of this. And I'm like, the Murray twins in Salem, Massachusetts are the most perfect human beings that have ever existed. One, they're twins. They're both amazing looking. They look so fucking cool. They're great tattoo artists. They have a shop that's like perfectly curated with a shop. They do these night fairs. They're fucking just like, I'm like, how are you so cool? So yeah, I can rant about them forever. I'm like obsessed with them, but
Okay.
Good dudes, great fair up there. But yeah, Salem is awesome. I've been trying to infiltrate that world for a while now.
Okay.
Talk me through your signs. Where'd you get those?
Sure. I got all these signs here. I got from these three right here. I got from a company called See You Scared. Actually saw them at Midwest in person, the West Harness Convention, and they're really nice. You can get small ones like this. You also can get massive ones for like your workshop too. So
What was it called?
See You Scared. It's capital C, capital U, space scared.
I love that. What's Haddonfield? No, I'm just kidding.
I got this at Spirit, and I got this at like a local dollar store for not very much.
I have that exact that happy haunting thing from the Dollar Tree as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I appreciate everything when it comes to horror. I appreciate the dollar item,
yes,
and the $5,000 item,
yeah,
because it's like it's amazing. It's crazy. I've decorated half of my house. I go to the Dollar Tree and I get all the black flowers, all the dark flowers. I
nice.
build arrangements and do things like
Yes.
that. Those little skeletons that they always met, and I'm like, how do you make these for $1? How can you sell these for $1? It makes me so angry because I'm like, how do you do this? Like, I want this. And then like places like Lowe's and Home Depot that have like fucking Home Depot. I have 5 of those 12-foot skeletons.
Oh, geez.
But like, fuck you. I want to sell 12-foot skeletons. Like, I want that. Like, I want to be such a big entity that I can go, hey, manufacturers, build me these. I want to do 13-foot skeletons. But no, I mean, I love the art of especially local craftsmen's and craftsmanship with haunt stuff because they are passionate and they love it and it's cool. It's always, if you go on Horror Hub, we have a bunch of people that are just, they're craftsmen. They make their shit.
Yes.
They do it by hand. It's so amazing. Like I support local craftsmanship more than most things that I can. Like if you go to my house, I have things that are made by my friends, things that are like, everything that I try to have around me, I'm either picking, getting made, or upcycling and things like that. So I try not to support. I went to fucking IKEA today. But if I have the option, I try to support local craftsmen and things like that. So I want to know when you are going to draw a skull on Marilyn Monroe behind you.
Make it like all the
make her dark, make her evil.
No, I got a question for you though. Now, I just wanted to start out. You obviously love haunts. You absolutely love the whole heart. Would you ever consider opening your own haunt?
I want to so bad. I actually have a church in Pittston I'm in Pennsylvania, and it's like 14,000 square feet. It's sitting there. It's my warehouse. I have, I'm always up there moving things around, looking at things. But I have a bunch of animatronics. I have a few hundred haunt walls already. I've just been hoarding. I'm a hoarder.
Okay.
I have, tons of caskets. I have altars, weird shit. But yeah, it's one of my bucket lists is to do a haunt. It's weird you say that. I was talking to a guy about doing a haunt today because I had all these caskets and I said, listen, what are you guys doing? What do I want to do? What are we going to do together? Let's figure this the fuck out. And then I had another phone call about Salem.
Okay.
So it's in the pipeline. It's going to happen eventually because I get nothing but so excited by building stuff, and designing stuff is so cool. And in the haunt industry, it's so interesting. The way they do smoke and mirrors it blows my mind. Did you ever go through a haunted house in the day? Like you ever do those like
yes.
When they walk you through and
Yeah.
I am so fascinated by how they go, yeah, that's just like that's a sparkler and two Taco Bell wrappers. Like that's what makes that noise. I'm like, how did you even fucking think of that? So I'm so fascinated by the way that they do smoke and mirrors, and they really figure out how to I love that creativity because I love I'm cheap as fuck. Everyone's like, you're fucking rich. I'm like, I'm cheap and frugal, and it's what I do, but I love that in the haunt industry. I feel like everything is so meticulously planned out, but so like, oh, here's a facade.
Yes.
With plywood, 2x4s, painted with some stuff on it, and then you have your back bracing, and that's it. You call it in. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. Like so cool.
Couple strings hanging from the ceiling and in the dark.
That's it. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, or someone, it's just a black room with hands that come out and touch you.
Yeah.
Like I think it's so genius, and people are so. What I think needs to happen though is the younger people like us need to get into that industry before we get old.
Yeah,
because it gets, some of them are old dudes that just are so a little stuck in the past.
Okay.
They need to bring stuff like last year, two years ago, I tried to do a VR haunted house. Everybody got so I was going to get this giant warehouse. I was going to build a facade on it, make it look awesome. And then each person got their own. I was going to make them all look like the Saw helmets.
Nice.
So that had you in VR. But then there would be a rope that you hold on, and you'd be immersed with full sound and each room. So you are individually getting scared instead of being in a pack of people and doing things like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's just money. It's so expensive to do anything.
I was going to say, I could imagine getting individual VR units would be really expensive.
Yeah, they're a couple $100 a piece plus the warehouse. It was $15,000 a month for the warehouse, $200 per headset. I needed 200 of them. And then plus the programming for each room inside of the VR, inside of the thing was like another $50,000. And I was like,
Jeez. Ugh.
listen, I was like, and I tried to partner with a VR company actually. And I was like,
Okay, okay.
if you guys supply this, I'll do this and we'll do this. And then they end up just ghosting me. And I went, okay, all right.
Oh, wow.
I can't afford to do this whole situation by myself. So it's in the pipeline. It'll happen eventually. When someone writes me a giant check, I will one of the first things I'll do is haunted house.
Because I think it'd be fun because you've been in the music industry. You could do like Rob Zombie did, where like the day he opened the Great American Nightmare, you could do a concert.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I already, if I wouldn't lie, if I wouldn't say that I already have a business plan
Oh, yeah.
for an entire haunted attraction. So
Nice.
again, a pipeline. I hope it happens someday, and I would love to be in that ring of people that someday when another person's getting interviewed and saying, "What's your favorite haunted house?" I hope it's something that I own because that would make me very happy.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah. That's what I want to do. I want to work with haunted attractions, try to think up things with them. That's what I want to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's a way to do it.
Mhm. Now, how many haunts do you think you've actually visited during the day instead of during the operations?
Um, I've done Horror Nights. I've done Reaper's Revenge. I've done Netherworld. I've done the Penitentiary. I've done was a random one in Nashville when we were on tour.
Nashville Nightmare?
Maybe. I don't remember. It was so long ago. So not too many. I would say 5 or 6 maybe total.
Okay.
It's I what a couple local ones around here,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I think it hasn't been many, but it's always super fascinating to see.
Yes. Have you been to Field of Screams?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I would love to do that one during the day.
Yes. It's still
So
really good.
I actually did the haunted coaster at Camelback a few years ago. They do this thing called the haunted coaster.
Okay.
And my idea was like, I'll do this haunted coaster this year, and the next year I'll do a full haunted. And they gave me a budget and all this stuff. And I guess there was a religious organization that rented out almost the entire resort that
Oh.
doesn't support. I don't want to say anything, rude or
Yeah.
understood, but their religion did not believe in Halloween, so they couldn't
Okay.
do Halloween. So it kind of fizzled out. But I did do the haunted coaster, which was really amazing. So to be able to it wasn't as extravagant as I was like it. There was like 7 stops of like the coaster when you're going up. Like I did like a deranged traveler. I did, spiders coming down. I did a
Nice.
seance scene, and it was only just like a couple scenes and things like that. But it was a very cool, eye-opening thing because it's expensive. Fog is fucking expensive. Like I need to go knock on Froggy's fog door and just be like, cut it out. Um, but yeah, it's very cool. I love the haunt industry, and I hope to within the next few years I get to call myself a haunt owner.
What
Yes.
about music? What about doing music for a haunt? Would you ever like
100%.
want to do?
I actually own a studio
like-
now. I just opened a studio. I'd love to do sound design for a haunt. I think I would fucking knock it out of the park because one, I'm a psychopath, so it'd be fine.
I think you could do all kinds of great things for like Phantom of the Opera with your keyboards and everything.
Yeah, I love orchestrated fucking haunt music. I think I would kill that. So if anybody's listening that wants a soundtrack for their haunted house, call me. You can find me somewhere.
So, what are the best ways to contact you for messaging and everything?
If you can send an owl, that'd be great. Crow, maybe. Honestly, just Instagram. I try to be as attentive to that. It's probably the one of that I view the most with talking back and forth with people. Twitter is really good as well. Just because it's not so oversaturated with back and forth that
Okay.
I get to see a lot of the messages. And I think both handles are just at Josh Balz, which are really easy to find, which is really nice. JOSHBALZ. And ask me questions. It's cool. And or if you can honestly, if you can find me at twitch.tv/DW Presents. I stream 2 days a week, Sundays and Thursdays at 6:30 Eastern. And there's a live chat, which I always talk to the chat. I love talking to the chat there. So if you actually want to ask me questions and see me live react to your questions, that's the place to do it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how do you do your background? Is it just like a filter you have on there? Oh, it's just okay.
Wow, it's an actual screen, like a
Nice.
legit screen, not just you hit a button and
Okay, cool.
that's awesome.
Let me see what I got here. Yeah, here's my I'll hang out here instead.
No, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's honestly, so all right, if you guys ever want to, if you guys doing this stuff, it's literally just a green screen from Amazon, and it's a program called ManyCams,
Okay.
ManyCams, and you can do virtual backgrounds and things like that. You can do videos in your background. So if you're like talking about a movie, you can have it playing in the background of you. The only hard part is you have to have like it has to be lighted correctly. Like I have like all these lights that light up because you have to light the green screen correctly and stuff like that.
Okay.
Best investment I ever made because I can stream from anywhere and I can literally be anywhere I want. Like this nice little office, maybe.
That's great.
Or out in space. But no, I appreciate you guys having me. I'm very excited to support you guys, and I hope you guys get 1 million followers, subscribers this year. And I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And tell everyone where the Strange and Unusual is exactly in Kingston. What is your
So my baby, which is the Strange and Unusual, is 467 Wyoming Avenue in Kingston, Pennsylvania. Or you can find, if you guys are not from the area, thestrangeandunusual.com. We tend to put only a fraction of the things online because we want people to experience the Strange and Unusual.
Yes.
So definitely make a trip or check out thestrangeandunusual.com. If you love root beer, drinkparlor.com. It's mostly Northeast in Pennsylvania in person, but we do have an e-commerce which you can order from there. Horrorhubmarketplace.com if you want all things horror. Like I said, we're relaunching 2.0 in June or July, probably July. We want that half Halloween. If you want some sound design, reach me at legacyrecordingpa.com. If you want to watch me stream live on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/DW Presents. If you want to listen to my music, it's Strange Kids on Spotify, which I have new music coming out in a few months.
Nice.
What else do I fucking do?
Horror Hub will be coming in Horror Hub 2.0.
Horrorhubmarketplace.com 2.0 will be in hopefully June or July. It'll be fucking perfect.
Wonderful. So you keep yourself busy, man.
I sleep once in a while.
You sleep upside down like a batter.
Damn right I do. But I think I got all those caskets today.
Yes.
I need guest rooms and things like that.
Yes.
Comfort. It's comfort for everybody.
All right. So this was episode 38 of Fall Informer. I've been John from the Haunt Informer.
And I'm Glenn from Fall Ritual.
And thank you very much, Josh. We had a great time talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And until next time, happy hauntings.